Just remember, come in and feel free to ignore the instructor. It probably works best. Speaking of ignoring the professor, let's bring to the stage the next guy. It's a lot of fun to have around. He's known all around Asheville. Welcome to the stage, Blaine Greenfield.
Cynthia, my beautiful bride, and I agree on a lot of things, but not everything. For example, I remember the very first time we made love, and Cynthia wants to keep the lights on. I say, no, babe, the lights have to go off. She says, no, I want to see you. I've always wanted to see your toes. I love your toes. I want to see your toes. I said, no, Cynthia, you can't see my toes. As a kid, I had polio. And she says, you mean polio? I said, no, babe, it's polio. My toes were disfigured, scarred. They're terrible. I don't ever want you to see them. So a couple minutes later, she says, but I want to see your knees. I've always wanted to see your knees. I've longed to see your knees. I said, babe, you're not going to see my knees. She says, but why? I said, because as a kid, I had measles. and she says, do you mean measles? I said, no, Cynthia, I had measles, same thing too. My knees were scarred, disfigured, ugly. I never want you to see my knees. A couple of minutes later, she covers her eyes, says, did you also have smallpox? Fast forward to several years later, we're in Philadelphia, and I decide to surprise Cynthia to tickets to a show, nice show in downtown Philadelphia, Puppetry of the Penis. And this is an actual show, if you're not familiar with it. It started out in Australia. A couple of Australian blokes were in a bar, and they're doing these tricks, and they're getting paid to do these tricks in a bar, and being very popular. The show worked its way to New York, eventually to Philadelphia. And I get tickets to the show, Puppetry of the Penis. Now I'm watching these guys do these tricks for a couple minutes, and after a couple minutes, my reaction was, ouch. Cynthia's reaction was she was pissed at me. We only had second row center seats. She wanted first row center, and even with her opera glasses, she still couldn't see enough of it. At any rate, Cynthia's turn then to get back at me, and this is just a month ago. We're in Asheville, and Cynthia surprises me with tickets to a show. And not just any show, but tickets to Naked Ladies Reading. Now, if you're not familiar with this is an actual show in West Asheville where once a month these ladies get up and read great literature. Now, I have no idea what the literature was about, but it was nevertheless great literature, I can tell you that. And my reaction was I'm listening to this fantastic literature, and I'm thinking to myself, damn, how come there are only 3 women reading? Cynthia's reaction was she was again pissed there were no guys. So that was her reaction. But I keep that in my mind, and so just a couple of weeks ago, we went with our friends to something we call a mystery night. And we didn't tell them what it was. What the mystery was, we went to a studio, an art studio, and it was kind of an amateur painting experience. We were going to paint a picture and get a copy of the picture to take home with us. Now, as we get there, I say to Cynthia, I have to go, and I excuse myself, and I go to the bathroom, I change, and I come out in a robe, completely naked, and with a little stool, and I say to the group, I'm your subject. You're going to paint me. And our friends couldn't believe it. Cynthia couldn't believe it. She comes rushing to the stage. She opens my robe. She says, I can't believe you're naked. I said, Cynthia, that's what models do. They're naked, when they are going to be in front of everybody. She then says, this is not going to work. And I say, what? How come? Why don't you think it's going to work? She says, because the canvas isn't big enough. This is from a guy who once had smallpox. At any rate, that was kind of the joke part of the evening. I went back, I did change, and the six of us, we painted these pictures, and these pictures were these cupcakes. They gave us some cupcakes to eat, and then we painted these beautiful pictures of cupcakes. Remember, I take a picture of my painting, and I send it to my daughter. I send her via email, and I say, Risa, when you were a kid, you painted something, and we still have it hanging up in our house. I want to get back at you. This is going to be your painting for your house. Within seconds, she texts me back. She doesn't call me. She texts me, and she says, thanks, but no thanks. I could deal with that reaction because it was better than our friend's reaction. They take their paintings home to their parents, and they said they went that night to an art auction. They spared no expense buying this painting at this art auction, and their father laughed at them, said, what kind of crap is this? Kindergarten kids could do better. Okay, and this was their actual painting. But I could have even dealt with all that, excepting for something that Cynthia did without my knowledge. But after she had seen me naked and she opened my robe, she took some pictures, and she actually sent the pictures into Playgirl, okay? And I was surprised, shortly thereafter, I get the following letter. I was surprised by it, and a little embarrassed by it, but I will share it with you. Because I can't see you anyway, so it doesn't matter. The letter reads, Dear Mr. Greenfield, we wish to thank you for your letter and digital photos. I'm wondering, what is this all about? Which we recently received. We regret, however, that we will not be able to use any of them as our Playgirl's Man of the Month. When rated by our AAW, Audacious American Women, on a scale of 1 to 10, your body was rated a -2. The panel is composed of widowed females ranging in ages from 50 to 75 years old who have been deprived of sexual activity for a minimum of 5 years. To confirm your below average rating, we submitted your photograph to a second panel, so I thought I had a chance here, the HUHA, the Horny Undersexed Housewives of America, whose age ranged from 25 to 35. However, we could not get them to contain their laughter long enough to rate you. Please be assured that should the taste of American women deteriorate so drastically that a body such as yours would be in demand, you'll be notified. Meanwhile, please do not call us, we will call you. Now I could deal with all that until I read the P.S. P.S. It pains to inform you that had your photo been used, the staple holding our centerfold together would have completely obstructed what you refer to as your item of interest. Thank you.
Oh, great. Blaine Greenfield. Blaine Greenfield.
Really?
Blaine. Watch somebody. Okay. Blaine Greenfield. You know, all I can say is poor Cynthia. This would be Blaine Greenfield.
I took the course because Cynthia wanted me to get the hell out of the house. So it worked. And I was thinking a little bit the other day about the course and my colleagues in the class, and some adjectives came to mind. I kept thinking these adjectives: funny, bright, intelligent, charming, sexy, lively, energetic, even humble. But you know, enough about me. Let me tell you about the course. And the course was an interesting one because I'd always kind of liked to tell a joke or two jokes, but I always thought it'd be hard to actually put together a routine. And I found out, and I saw from your reaction, that it's very hard to put together a routine. And so I should tell you that, in most probability, this will be the last time you ever see me up here on stand-up. However, I am looking forward to my next course at the Center for Creative Retirement. And it's a course I'm really looking forward to. It's Gynecology 101. And the reason I'm looking forward to that course in particular, because Lady Gaga has said I can actually use Wendy the uterus. Thank you.
Hold on. Leave it to Blaine. The whole term, he's doing it his way and doing it his way. And then he stands up at the end when no one's listening and he kills. Good job. Good job. Gotta love it.